A massive thank you to Jero for sponsoring this video on Patreon. Miirym versus Rokiric, Jetmir and Purphoros. We've got an okay sum of mana, no means of card draw, no means of ramp really. Yeah, I'm not feeling that hand, we'll mulligan. Alright, got some more stuff going here. We'll need a green source for the Kodama's Reach, but if we can get into that, that'll be okay. Worst case scenario, we just have to go dockside. Okay, getting into another dragon on turn 1 in Visit Purphoros. We'll play out the island, because I'm hoping that I'm going to be able to name dragon with the Cavern of Souls. Might be forced to go for a dockside, unfortunately. Turn 1 Skull Clamp from Purphoros, just playing it out and not using it is pretty risky. Really want to play out Skull Clamp when you can actually equip it straight away and make use of it. So here's praying for a green source. Wow, another dragon. Yeah, I'm going to keep just hoping that we get into a green source. I'll still name dragon, because there's no guarantee our opponent's going to play a bunch of artifacts. I mean, we've already got one here for the dockside, so we could have played dockside there and guaranteed Kodama's Reach. Yeah, actually, now looking at the board, there's no blue mana, is there? So I really should have named Goblin with this. Anyway, it's a Mind Stone for Purphoros. Well, Jetmir not having any trouble with colours. It is a 3 visits and a Birds of Paradise. We see General Ferris Rokiric. And come on land. Alright, excellent. So, not being punished for missing the Dockside Extortionist play that I should have gone for last turn. So that's a Tropical Island. Obviously being a green source, we'll go for a couple of red basics here with the Kodama's Reach. And there is a Purphoros on turn 3. They've also got down an Urza's Saga. And noteworthy there's a Care Keep as well to make tokens with, so that'll be good with the Skull Clamp. Only got one source of red mana though. I was just looking at Opportunistic Dragon thinking that I could steal this commander away, but it actually has hexproof from mono-coloured. So I won't be able to target that, unfortunately. Fable of the Mirror Breaker, and making a Goblin Shaman token. Figure of Destiny makes a 4/4 Golem token, and they level that up, so that turns into a 2/2, and then the Rokiric swings in towards Purphoros. Hard to know who the threat of the table is here. Both these two decks are really stupidly fast and can win really quickly. If you leave the Dragon player alone until the long game, then there's every chance that you'll lose that game as well. Get down the mountain, and we draw on into Dragon's Horde, so probably best to go for that. Nothing to do with that mana. Maybe could have taken the Skull Clamp away from the Purphoros player, but they've got 5 colours anyway. Maybe get them to search up some fast mana with this and then steal it with the dragon. Opportunistic Dragon. Anyway, holding up counter magic at the moment, so our opponents might think. A Thought Vessel to make an unlimited hand size, followed by tapping into the Urza's Saga, so that makes them a construct. That is a 4/4. So Dockside Extortionist looking pretty good here. Rummaging with the enchantment, they only discard 1, they could have done 2. So just deciding on getting rid of Rampaging Baloths. Then the Goblin Shaman swings in at us. Nature's Law searching up a forest for the Naya player. So if the Boros player has anything to say about it, they'll probably get more Golem tokens here, which means Dockside is gonna make a lot of mana for us. Alright, playing Nahiri the Harbinger, which will of course trigger the General, and then the Nahiri deciding to rummage. So just getting rid of a basic land. Got 4 cards in hand over there. Okay, and the Rokiric swinging in at us as well, so we'll go down to 32 life, 3 commander. We actually make 9 mana with the dockside now. That is a Rhythm of the Wild. Don't need to worry about counter magic, thankfully. We could make use of the haste. So let's play dockside first of all. See if Jetmir wants to crack that treasure. They do not. Oh, it's actually 10 treasures. I must have miscounted something. Oh, I never realised Urza's Saga is an enchantment land. So that obviously counts towards dockside. So we get 10 treasures. I think we definitely go for Miirym. So how's about we give Miirym haste with the Rhythm of the Wild then. Have Miirym enter with haste. Dragon's Horde will trigger, putting a gold counter on the Dragon's Horde. Then we've got 5 mana available to us. We can make it an Imrith, get rid of the Planeswalker and draw a card. Or we could steal stuff away with the Opportunistic Dragon. Yeah, let's go for the Imrith here. We can start drawing even more cards beginning from next turn as well, because the token won't come in with haste, unfortunately. So that Imrith enters with haste. Miirym will make a token. The Dragon's Horde will trigger again. No means of protection, unfortunately, but let's swing this one into the Purphoros player, and then Nahiri can go down to Miirym. So Imrith triggers because it hit a player. We'll draw a card. That gets us into Mana Form Hellkite. So even more token stuff for us. Good that we're drawing into our cheaper dragons. Urza's Saga making another construct in response to it being sacrificed. We all get shocked by the Purphoros again, and turning the Urza's Saga into a Sol Ring as it normally does, so maybe Opportunistic Dragon takes the Skull Clamp and the Sol Ring next turn. Alright, a Firecat Blitz makes 3 red elemental cats, so 6 damage to all of us. You can see why I was wanting to concentrate on Purphoros now. We'll see if everyone's still scared of the dragon player though. 6/6 swings in at us, as I assumed it would. I was hoping that we'd be able to steal away the Skull Clamp and put it on the dock side before we block with it, but we've got some dragons that we can refill our hand with. Well, alright, the cat's coming in towards us as well. So we'll block a 1/1 cat, and we'll chump on the construct. Doesn't have trample, does it? Nope. Mana being tapped by the Naya player. Alright, and that is Artifact Mutation. That's surprising. Going on to, I suppose trying to take some mana away from us. The Dragon's Horde that went on to. I suppose it makes them more Saprolings as well. So the Reflection being turned into Reflections of Kiki Jiki now. And Rootborn Defences going to make their stuff indestructible and populate. So populating on a Dragon Shaman. And then a Blasphemous Act. Yeah, that might be the end of the game for us. Certainly put our commander back in the command zone. I was hoping we'd be able to take some mana from over here next turn, but if we manage to get into a land, might be able to go for the Lathlis and rebuild quite quickly. Alright, yeah, swinging into Purphoros, as I think they should. I think out of all 3 of us, Purphoros is the one to go after here. Getting into all their 2 mana ramp, a Rampant Growth this time. 2 cards left in the Naya player's hand. The General straight back into play again. Okay, excellent, managed to make a land, so we've got all the green mana we like now, everyone does, thanks to Yavimaya. So Lathlis can come down with, yeah, might as well be a plus counter. I don't think I'm gonna swing in here, thanks to all the stuff going on here, although it's probably Jetmir that we see next turn. So I'm not sure one blocker is going to do a whole lot of good for us. Maybe shouldn't have played Lathlis. Lathlis might draw too much attention to us. Never know, we might see another board wipe from Purphoros here though. It is a Goblin Rally, so seeing 4 Goblin tokens, that is 8 damage on all of us. And then finally making use of that Skull Clamp, really lucky that it hasn't been blown up yet. It's turn 6. 6 turns that sat there. Now we're playing a land and Goblin Engineer, so they get to entomb an artifact. Shocking us again, because that is a creature. Still no haste from the red player. They decide on an Ankh of Mishra. So yeah, as we predicted, that is a Jetmir, Nexus of Revels, so they've got Trample and Vigilance, and +2/+2 as it stands now. Not as bad as it could have been. 1 creature away from getting the full buff. So who are they worried about? Yeah, worried about Purphoros. This seems like a capable Jetmir player. They are analysing the board correctly here, I think. Unfortunately, I think we are the next threat after Purphoros. So making a bunch of chump blocks with the goblins, they'll get rid of a load of creatures and debuff their stuff. Probably an intelligent move from Purphoros. Blocking surprisingly with the Goblin Engineer as well, so not going to be able to reanimate the Ankh of Mishra. So going down to 5 creatures and 2 cards in hand, they've only got Vigilance now, and the +1 to power. Another golem being made thanks to Swiftblade Vindicator. Really good card we don't see enough of. They should really swing in at Purphoros here, because I think, yeah, I had a feeling they'd do that. Should really be landing as much damage on Purphoros as possible, because I don't think the Jetmir has really shown them any mind whatsoever. And I think after Jetmir's got rid of Purphoros, assuming that they do, they'll be looking at us, like I said. Okay, so get into another land, play that out straight away. And I think we just want to be getting into card draw here, so it might just be Niv Mizzet Perun, I think. Would be good to get 2 of those with our commander, but it may well be that we're not getting our commander anytime this game. So I'll have to crack the Windswept Heath, unfortunately. We're at 11 life now, but we need another red mana. So we'll have Niv Mizzet come down with a plus counter on it. Lathlis will trigger. I mean, yeah, we're between a rock and a hard place, you see, because I really should be taking out the Purphoros player there by giving this haste, but the problem is Jetmir definitely comes in at us then, so yeah, I mean, we just have to hope that Purphoros doesn't take us out next turn. With 4 cards in hand, there's every chance they can. Either way, I don't think we're winning this one. It's been a fun game regardless, so just play this one out and see what happens. At least giving Purphoros another turn will bring the game to a conclusion more quickly. Time to see if giving Purphoros another turn will deal too much damage to us. Let's say Chandra, Acolyte of Flame, so that can get a couple of elementals out. Zeroing down on the Chandra, making the elementals 4 damage to all of us. Swinging in with the elementals, going in towards the Jetmir player. Noteworthy that they can give +1 to power. So yeah, they do block here. They're gonna lose both of their goblins, because no doubt they're going for the buff with the Purphoros for 3 mana. Yep, that's exactly what they do. So Jetmir even further away from having the full buff, which is good for us. Plenty of ways of getting down 6 creatures in one turn though. An Endless Atlas, draw a card, only if you have 3 lands with the same name, which they just about do, but they don't have the mana to put into that unfortunately. So that might have worked out quite well for us. The Naya player kind of has to swing in towards Purphoros here. Arrester the Endless Web will make some reaches, which is going to be relevant against us. There's more punishment against instants and sorceries being cast as well, which goes nicely with our Niv Mizzet Parun. Followed by a Tendershoot Dryad, so that will be 3 tokens, 4 tokens on their next upkeep. So that'll be the full set of 9. Should be looking at getting rid of Jetmir in the next cycle. Jetmir does swing in at Purphoros, so they've kind of opened themselves up to being taken out by us next turn. So down goes Purphoros, and then the Boros player has something to do at the end of the turn, just cracking a Myriad Landscape. They haven't done too well on mana this game. The General plays out Idol of Oblivion, and not swinging in at all. They don't really have any good attacks here. So Tendershoot Dryad, going to make yet another Saproling. They are coming down as 5/3s. We can play 2 dragons here if we get a land. We do not. That is a Dragon Tempest though, could be relevant. Draw into a card is a damage on any target. So is that directly to a player going to be relevant? We can swing a couple of big dragons in over here. Assuming we get in for 5 damage, that knocks them down to 9. Yeah, I'm just going to deal the damage directly here. I'm not going to do the maths. Oh, actually, there's a Birds of Paradise in the way as well. Forgot about that. Should have knocked that out of the way. Anyhow, we'll get out the Dragon Tempest. Suppose the Opportunistic Dragon is fine here. We can steal away a Golem, and that can be a blocker for us. Yeah, maybe not shooting the Birds of Paradise might have cost us this one. Okay, tapping down the Birds of Paradise. Path to Exile goes on the Lathlis, so that makes the Dragon Tempest less relevant. We'll draw a card first. Doubt we're going to draw into anything relevant now that we're pretty much tapped out. Okay, Haven of the Spirit Dragon doesn't really do anything. 1 damage to any target. I mean, I think we're just helping the Boros player at this point. Although they're empty-handed, if we shoot the Birds of Paradise now, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 creatures they'll have next turn, so a couple away from the full amount, which might be relevant. Yeah, let's still shoot the birds, because we're only going to get a lightning bolt from the Dragon Tempest now. We'll get haste on that from the Dragon Tempest, so we might as well put a plus counter with Riot on the Opportunistic Dragon. Damage from this goes straight onto Jetmir, and the Opportunistic Dragon steals away. Yeah, we'll just take the Golem token, it's more toughness. So now it's 6 creatures. The intelligent thing to do here is just hold back, I think. I don't see that we either attack in and open ourselves up, or we hold back and don't really do much of anything. Yeah, I mean the intelligent player's holding back. I don't see that we're really going to do much of anything here. They've only got 1 Reacher, so almost forcing them to block with this by swinging in with Niv Mizzet might be a good idea. Yeah, whatever. Don't think we're going to win this one. Don't think we've got any chance of winning it, so I'll just swing in with Niv Mizzet. Give them 1 less creature. Alright, they go down to 4, decide to keep hold of their Arrester. So going up to 7 creatures on the board now, we'll see what they top deck. They can make another creature with the reflections of Kiki Jiki as well. Looks like they've got something big, luckily, right off the top. Oh, just playing into Arch of Arazka. So draw a card, only if you have the City's Blessing. And shocking in a Temple Garden, so that suggests that they've got a Swords to Plowshares. Jetmir swinging in at us is a 7-4 with Trample and Vigilance, and then deciding to pull back. Okay, so declared attackers are a couple of 5-3 Tramplers in at us, and the Jetmir in at us. We've got a total power of 8-13, so that is 10-17 coming in at us. So we can take a total of 4 damage if we block everything. And then we'll only have one tapped creature, so the Boros player can just take us out and try and tangle in a one-on-one against this player. Yeah, that should make it a good game. Oh, does this not block? Oh, it can't attack or block. Okay. Well, so much for that then. If we'd taken this instead of the Golem token, the stuff would have just trampled straight through anyway, so I don't think it would have made any difference. We go down to -1. And managed to get rid of the Jetmir, so helping out the Boros player there. They've still got the buffs on the Saprolings thanks to Tendershoot Dryads. Reflections of Lityara, making a copy of the Tendershoot Dryad at the end step, so they will keep hold of this until, is it their next end step? It's at the beginning of the next end step, so they'll lose the Tendershoot Dryad at the end of the Boros player's turn now. Okay, that is a Scapegoat. Return any number of target creatures you control to their owner's hand. So they're bouncing their 2-mana creature back. So they just want to replay it into the general Rokiric. Successfully getting the Tendershoot Dryad out. A Spider token was made then as well, thanks to the instant into Arrester. I think they've made it even worse for themselves there, to be honest. So replaying Swiftblade Vindicator. Drawing a card with Idol of Oblivion, Thundersong Trumpeter, and then also playing and equipping a Gold Vein Pick. That went on to the Double Striker, so that's Double Strike, Vigilance, Trample, and a 2-2. Pretty sure they can just replay the Jetmir and win here. Yep, so down comes the Jetmir, and I think for the first time this game they've got the full buff here, so it is Double Strike, Trample and Vigilance, +3/+0 on everything. And they would turn everything sideways if it wasn't for the Vigilance. Swing in towards the Boros player, who does make blocks. Pretty sure that they've got it here thanks to the Double Strike and Trample. Yep, so I think they went down to first strike damage there. I don't think double strike damage even happened. -6. Seeing a very capable, very well played Jetmir deck there. Their threat assessment was really good. Managed to get rid of the opponents in the correct order, in my opinion. Always fun to see Jetmir go off. I know that he's a channel favourite at the moment, so hopefully you all enjoyed seeing that. Be sure to consider donating on Patreon. If you do enjoy the videos, that would be a massive, massive help. Huge thank you goes out to the patrons who support already. I'm Tribalkai. Thank you for watching.